This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. The price of U.S. gasoline averaged more than $5 a gallon for the first time on Saturday, data from the RR showed, extending a surge in fuel costs that is driving rising inflation. The national average price for regular unleaded gas rose to $5.004 a gallon on June 11 from $4.986 a day earlier, AAA data showed. High gasoline prices are a headache for President Joe Biden and congressional Democrats as they struggle to maintain their slim control of Congress with midterm elections coming up in November.
Oil dropped almost $2 a barrel on Monday as a flare-up in COVID-19 cases in Beijing dented hopes of a Chinese demand rebound, while worries about more interest rate hikes to control rampant inflation added further pressure. Beijing's most populous district Chaoyang announced 3 rounds of mass testing to quell a ferocious COVID-19 outbreak that emerged last week. Mass testing would take place until Wednesday. Brent crude was down $1.54, or 1.3%, to $120.47 at 12:13 GMT, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell $1.82, or 1.5%, to $118.85.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Russia rose to become India's second biggest supplier of oil in May, pushing Saudi Arabia into third place but still behind Iraq, which remains number 1, data from trade sources showed. In May, Indian refiners received about 819,000 barrels per day, BPD, Russian oil, the highest thus far in any month, compared to about 277,000 in April, the data showed. Western sanctions against Russia for its invasion of Ukraine prompted many oil importers to shun trade with Moscow, pushing spot prices for Russian crude to record discounts against other grades.
S.Korea's average daily shipments of petrochemical products have plunged by 90% since a strike by truckers in the country, the Korea Petrochemical Industry Association said on Monday. Volumes have been slashed to 10% of the usual 74,000 metric tons since Cargo Truckers Solidarity Union members launched a nationwide strike on June 7, the association said in a statement.
Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
Lead surpluses in top consumer China will cancel out shortages of the battery material in Europe and the United States, effectively leaving the global market in balance this year. Regional imbalances can be seen in the physical market premiums that consumers pay above the lead price on the London Metal Exchange, currently around $2,100 a ton. Lead premiums in China's bonded warehouses have been around $130 a ton since 2020, according to Shanghai Metals Market. U.S. premiums for locally recycled lead were $364 to $452 a ton at end May, from $204 to $237 a ton in January 2021, according to Wood Mackenzie analyst Farid Ahmed.
Aluminium prices dropped to a 6-month low on Monday as fears of further lockdowns in top consumer China, inflation and higher interest rates triggered a sell-off, although dwindling inventories provided some support. Benchmark aluminium on the London Metal Exchange, LME, traded down 2.8 at $2,605 ton in official rings, having earlier touched $2,595, the lowest level since December 15. The landscape looks rather depressing. Elevated inflation, the ongoing war in Ukraine, stubborn energy prices and a Chinese government that is keeping the country's growth bottled up, said Edward Mayer, analyst at ED&F Man Capital Markets. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. India, the world's biggest rice exporter, has ample stocks of the staple and there is no plan to restrict exports, the top official at the Food Ministry said on Monday. India's surprise decision to ban wheat exports on May 14 raised concerns about potential curbs on rice exports as well, prompting rice traders to step up purchases and place atypical orders for longer-dated deliveries. We have more than sufficient stocks of rice, so there is no plan to consider this, Food Secretary Sudhanshu Pandey said, responding to a question about whether India would consider any curb on rice exports.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.